And on files like this, climate change, energy, clean tech, like Canada is a player. It's a significant player, or I would say a mid-sized player for many domains, a larger player in other areas. But we just can't do this alone. And there's no way we'll be able to meet the ambitious targets set in Paris last year over 2020, 2030, but also over the longer term. We're looking at 2050 horizons and beyond without the help of our partners from around the world. On the second observation around trying to look at our risk, our reward research, kind of the idea is how can we kind of bend the curve? And that's true in that space here in biotechnology as well. Whether we're looking at renewable natural gas through gasification, an area that we've been working with the Canadian Gas Association actively on, and something that the industry is quite committed to bring a greater degree of supply within the space, is something we think has got a lot of value. Looking at drop-in biofuels from lignocellulosic material. Also looking at bringing together industries, the oil and gas sector, along with the BioCleantech, to look at diluents coming from biosources for transportation of bitumen in the pipeline. Rather than using hydrocarbons, why not using biosources to do just that? And we've been working with the Alberta producers in that regard, and CASIA are actually quite supportive of doing this. And it creates a new demand for this kind of product and helps green the oil and gas sector in Canada, which very much is welcoming of that. In the area of de-risking access to capital, again, something that is quite a priority for us, especially when it gets to larger scale projects. We heard yesterday from Enerchem, that waste-to-energy company, which benefited from significant amount of support in this area. I would also reference like companies like BioAmber, world's largest producer of bio-based succinic and acid plant, Ensom, also quite successful both in Canada and abroad. As many companies would like to champion and have like a large number of those leaders that can drive the sector and drive growth and exports. So for us, that's certainly something we want to keep our eyes on. And on this notion of global partnership, we just announced 2 weeks ago here in Ottawa the very first US DOE, US Department of Energy, demonstration plant outside US soil. It happens to be here in Ottawa in the US, in the Calumet Energy National Laboratory. It's a $20 million US funding project, which brings about the Gas Technology Institute from Chicago and some leading US firms, along with University of Ottawa and our Calumet Energy experts, to do new technologies around clean heat and power generation. We can use either fossil fuel or biomass as a feedstock and capture 98% of the CO2 emitted from such plant. So really going to a space whereby you would have largely a CO2-free electricity production for the electricity sector. It's pretty darn exciting. And now we're able to do it at the demo stage and being able eventually to commercialize it across North America and the world. So this kind of thing could not have been done Canada alone. We needed to partner with the Americans to assemble the kind of firepower in terms of funding to do this kind of thing. So you'll understand when I look at all this, there's a sense of excitement to see that there's this degree of cohesion and alignment domestically that we haven't seen in decades. We also see globally a sense of urgency, but also of commitment together to address those things. And I guess the last thing that gives me open confidence is to see people like you who've got the skill, the expertise, the passion to really have an impact and drive development of those technologies and adoption, not just in Canada, but around the world. So I think Canada can stand tall here and be really excited about what the prospects are for the future. And I very much look forward to your continued involvement and efforts. And I would very much also invite you to reach out to us, governments, whether federal, provincial, municipal, to share your good ideas and be bold and aim to, again, bring this transformation that we all strive for to make this a reality. Thank you.